You would think if there was any chivalry at all left on the Seattle left, that they would be carping night and day, trying to get help to the four young girls who were arrested, apprehended, kidnapped, taken prisoner, whatever language you choose to use for Israeli standard practices towards Palestinian women, and who are obviously being held captive for the purposes of sexual abuse and probably rape. Standard practice for the Israelis, for the Amaleks. And what you're up against, the reason why they're not doing it is because they've been involved in trafficking for a long time. They virtually nominated Donald Trump for a Nobel Peace Prize for Epstein Island, Botstein Island. I reported 40 years ago that they were involved in a Venus flytrap operation to take away human liberties, that hair was clocked to the Vietnam War by the same people, the perpetrators. The cynicism of the left in Seattle has no equal. They have pornographers all the way down from here to Texas working human trafficking on children who they blackmail, torture, and shoot. It's an insane situation. I described you might say, why are you looking at pornography? I described what they did completely compulsory. I mean, I was brutally kidnapped. By our elementary school was being circled by armed felons in stolen cars. And if you reported anybody, you were telling the parents of these men because their fathers were on the police department. The psychiatrist behind it was an Attica State Prison psychiatrist. Don't fool yourself in who you're talking to. I was a child and they took me to a monstrous estate castle and gassed me. They put paint thin, soaked a rag and put it over a bag over my face. Left them holding the bag was their laugh. And then they said it was John Lennon who gassed me. It probably was because the evidence shows that they used Casper as a symbol of the synthesis between John Lennon and Adolf Hitler, avenging the spirit of Tojo through Yoko Ono, the benighted woman at the line in the sand, and all of the sandbagger women, all of the feminist Nazis, all of the Palestinian women, all of the podcasters online laughed about it. They laughed about it because they pointed Jimmy Curry, the symbol of the sheltered American. To this day, they go along with Gail Burston and Saul Brecker. The Medicaid situation, the caregivers are probably networked by the Botstein Island crowd. The West Coast is creepy. Don Toon wants a Nobel Peace Prize for Botstein Island, and the Seattle left have nominated him for it. What you need to do is institutionalize responsible conduct. And it includes recognition that others have a right to privacy. That doesn't mean they have the right to abuse their responsibilities domestically. Now, when it comes to abortion, Roe versus Wade was Henry Wade, the man who framed Oswald. Kennedy was skeptical of abortion. He didn't think it could be put over in American society. These men monstrously wanted it so they could point the finger. They could say, you think you're better than us, when they went and bombed elementary schools. What do you think Uvalde was chosen for? You have all day with her. The creepiness and insanity of the fascist trafficking political psychology that's at work gets no tampering from the left. The left are in on it too. They all gurgle that you can't get away when they put stuff in your food. It is the left. Don't fool yourself. The people who have to reflect upon this situation are all of us, and we have to recognize that we ourselves have let it get carried away. It's important to have home economics in public schools, to teach about helping the disabled. We've let children get the impression that we're so irresponsible, that we're an anarchist society. And what do you expect them to do? It's amazing they don't all bolt and run. So don't ask me to perfect myself, because I don't believe that perfection lies in signing aboard past and present genocides the way that so many people on the left do. By pointing the finger at me and refusing to acknowledge what they were implying when they gassed me in King's Estate as a child, you abandon your responsibilities. So if you're asking me, why am I not laboring night and day to stop and rescue the 4 women who were kidnapped, taken into giving us nightmares, as Donald Tomb would triumphantly announce to his pleasure? I have been night and day for 50 years, and it's the left who have refused to pay any attention whatsoever. So would you clarify what you're asking me? Did I just not reproach you for ignoring the situation that led to impunity and the kidnapping of those 4 women? What did I do then?